Hello everyone, welcome to Dan Does Stuff. Today I'm going to show you how to rotate the tires on a Ford F150. Now I just did an oil change not too long ago, and the recommendation is to rotate your tires every roughly 10,000 miles or whenever you change your oil. The reason for that is you want even wear on your tires because these ones up front turn and the backs do not. What we're going to do is we're going to take the fronts and move them directly to the back and the back to the front. Now, typically you do a switch from the back to the front and flip-flop them. But what I've learned, talking to my brother who did immense amount of research, his beard is longer than mine and grayer, and he does way more research than I ever do, and I do a lot when it comes to stuff. Turns out truckers say you do not want to flip the tires around so they're rotating the opposite direction, because the way that the steel belts in the tires, once they're spinning one direction, they kind of set. So if you were to flip them around, if you alternated them as you move them up or vice versa, then they're going the opposite direction. They kind of screw the way they kind of roll. Learn something new. So which makes this even easier, because what we're going to do is we're just going to jack up this one side and flip the front to the back, back to the front, drop it down, and do the exact same thing on the other side. Pretty easy. Typically, I would usually take this in and get it done at a tire store or whatever, but a while back, I had an issue where the lug nuts weren't exactly up to spec, and one was actually really, really loose, so I'm not going to trust them ever again to do that. It's easy. Tools that you're going to need. For me, I have two of these racing jack stands, so then I can just lift it up on one side. I have a torque wrench. Torque wrench is used to tighten down your lug nuts to the spec for this F-150. It's going to be 150 foot-pounds. So we'll use that at the end. And then what I have is I have my impact wrench right here. And you don't have to use one of these. It just makes it that much faster because you can just rip through, just like NASCAR action. I should have a NASCAR shirt on right now so I can just time this and just rip through it. But I'm not going to do that. But this speeds it up. If you don't have one of these, you can still do it with a 1/2 inch drive wrench. That works totally fine. It just takes a lot longer to do. For these lug nuts, we have a 21mm socket. That's what we use for the Ford F-150 2021 model. So what I did is I I put two blocks on my back left, the side that I'm not going to lift up. Because once I lift up the side, I don't want my truck to roll or move at all. Some people say use jack stands once you get it up, but yes, I'm living on the dangerous side. I'm just going to use my two jacks. I want to talk about jack points, where to jack up your Ford F-150. On the front frame rail, you'll see, I'll show you a picture. There's an arrow of exactly where you want to jack. Put your jack right under that arrow on the frame. On the back, show you another photo, which is right on the axle. What you're going to want to do, if you don't have an impact wrench, what I would do is go around and just loosen up all my lugs on the sides while the tires are on the ground. Because if you were to lift up the truck and then start wrenching on it, you're going to spin your actual tire. This is freewheeling up front right here. It's not in 4x4. So you want to loosen them up while they're on the ground, because then you have all that weight of your truck sitting down. With this, you literally could jack it up and just rip through it. But I'm going to go through, loosen these all six lugs on the back, and then I'll jack the truck up, take them all off, set them down on my little mats. So I have these mats. If you have concrete driveway, you don't have to worry about that, but all this dirt, I don't want any dirt on anything. Flip them, throw the lugs back on, get them nice and tight, drop the truck down just enough, and then check my torque, 150 foot-pounds. So I'm going to zoom back out and you can see this in fast motion. Got them all on. Now let's go ahead and torque these to the 150 foot-pounds. I got them pretty tight, but this will just make sure they're all locked and loaded. Set my torque wrench to 150. And if you'll notice in fast motion, maybe not, the way I tighten them is you alternate. I always start at the bottom, because when you put these on, they tilt towards the bottom. So if you put your wheels on, tighten the bottom lug first, and then alternate. Top, then go back down, alternate. So making a star. So make sure that you're getting it all tight in the correct pattern, and just it seats it perfectly. And we're gonna do the same thing when we torque it. Go till it clicks. And you never want to hold anywhere like this on a torque wrench. Always hold it right on the handle. That's where you get the exact correct poundage that you have it set to. Go back through, check. Bingo, do the same with the back. There you have it. That's how you rotate tires on a Ford F-150 2021. You do the exact same thing that I just showed you on the other side, and you're good to go until your next oil change and you flip them back around. Get the most out of your tires, because tires are very expensive. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.